Hey everybody, welcome back to part 2 of my typeset. We're going to start out with the half dimes, and we're going to start out with a real beauty here. This is an 1836 capped bust half dime. In the AU 58, maybe even better condition. This is one of those that I just couldn't pass up. It was just too nice looking. Actually, the camera's not really doing it justice. But look at the details on the eagle. And about 1.9 million of these were made. Moving on to the seated dimes. And for those that have do some coin collecting, you know there's a lot of varieties to these. They were minted from 1837 to 1873. And they had a lot of different varieties with arrows, without arrows, with stars, without stars. This is an 1852. Again, in about an AU grade. At full liberty on the shield. Moving on to 1853 O with arrows. And as you can see at the date, there are some arrows which indicated a change in weight on them. Another one in good AU 55. And there is the O above the bow there, under the half dime. Next up, another seated dime. $1862, and you can see the arrows were removed. This one's about extremely fine, but even there, it's still pretty good detail on them. And finally, for the seated dimes, in 1872 S, and we're getting close to an AU coin here, and the S is above the bow. If you can see it there, they made them in that year with the mint mark below the bow and above the bow. And this one is above. Moving on to 5 cents, or the nickels. It was the shielded nickels, which were made 1866 to 1883. And we do have an 1867 here, in about an AU condition, with the rays in between the stars. And you'll see in the next one that those rays were removed. Actually, I believe the rays were added. Here's an 1867. Again, in about an AU condition. And there you can see the rays were removed. Move into the Liberty or V nickel. And those were made 1883 to 1913. Here's the first year, 1883. Another AU. And this one is without cents. And you'll see in the next coin where the cents was added. So 1894. This one's coming in at about an MS-60. A little bit of cartwheeling there yet. And as you can see here, the cents were added. About 5.5 million of these were made. And then finally, 1912S, which is a key date, a rare date. So it's not going to be in the best condition. Looking at about a fine on this. But even as a fine, it's still expensive. And the mint mark is right down there. Underneath that little dot is the S mint mark. Definitely a rare date, key date in the series. Moving on to the Indian head or buffalo nickels, which were produced 1913 to 1938. Here's the 1913 variety 1, which meaning the buffalo was standing on a mound. You'll see in a couple of coins the difference. Here's another, the 1913D, variety 1. And you can see the mint mark at the bottom here. Both close to mint state coins. Next we have a 1931S. And here you can see the difference where they flattened out the mound. Here we got a 1931S, 1935, I'm sorry. Another mint state coin. And here we got a 1937 in AU. And finally in the buffalo, a 1938D, the last year, in a mint state. Mint state 63, according to the seller. And then we get into the Jefferson nickels, which were made in 1938 to present. And here we have a 1939 in a mint state. And actually that is a 1939 S. See, the mint mark is on the side there. Next up, 1943 P, and these are the silver. During the World War II, they made them out of silver. And the fastest way to tell that they are a silver coin is the mint mark is up here at the top. So we got a 43P. A 1943S. And a 1943D. All pretty close to mint state condition. Next up, 1950. D, another BU. And you can see the mint mark is back down here. Next we have a proof, 1957. The holder is kind of showing up scratches more than what's on the coin itself. And we got a 1963. And a 1987. Yes. Getting some discoloration on that one. And then I won't show you all these individually, but of course in 2004 we changed the design on them, the piece nickel and the keel boat. And then 2005 we had the Buffalo return, and then the Oceans in View. And don't yell at me too hard for this one. I saw this at a coin show and I thought it looked really nice. I'm not into colorized coins that much, but if anyone were to be colorized, this definitely works on this one. It was cheap, and I figured, what the heck, let's throw it in. And then in 2006, we changed the design of the portrait. and return to Monticello. And for each of those I got the P, D, and S just as examples to throw in to the typeset. If you're making a typeset, go ahead and get the modern ones too, and get as many of them, the P, D, and S, then you've got them in case someday they do decide to go up in price. However, they made an awful lot of them, so I don't anticipate they will, but still want them in your typeset. And then to finish out the nickels, we got 2018 S reverse proof silver. And in 2020 we got the W mint mark. In proof. And also in 2020 we got the W mint mark in a reverse proof. And that wraps up the nickel portion of my typeset.